Shilpa, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining in. Now, online gaming industry is waiting to have a detailed regulatory framework and some clarity on taxation from the GST Council for better operations. Industry player Games24x7'S Co-Founder and Co-CEO Bhavin Pandya, in an exclusive interaction with Timsy Jaipuria, talked about the current challenges being faced by the industry and future plans of the company. He also talked about the new 400 crore rupee venture fund for budding entrepreneurs. Listen in.
Right now, we need regulation, and two, we need clarity on taxation. Those are the two biggest challenges.
You were part of the representing industry, especially when it comes to the GST Council, on online gaming, casinos and horse racing. You also came up with a detailed presentation to the group of ministers. What was the presentation all about? If you could crisply talk about, is 28% acceptable to your industry or not?
Sure. It all comes down to what the valuation is on which the 28% is going to be levied. Currently, we pay 18% on the revenue that we generate from providing the service. Right? On that, we are welcoming the 28%. That itself will be 60% more tax than we're paying right now, but we welcome that. We are okay with that. Right? But if the valuation is going to change, so if they're going to levy the tax 28%, on the entire entry fee, that is the amount that I'm paying for, that will make it unviable for the industry.
What was the assurance that you got from the group of ministers?
The assurance we got from the group of ministers is that they have no intention to disrupt the industry or to negatively impact the industry. So they are giving us a very, very open hearing and are going to come out with the best possible solution, is what we've been informed.
So you're waiting for the GST Council to actually come up with its final report and decision on taxation?
We are.
Apart from that, other areas which are challenging is the regulatory framework. METI is the parent industry ministry, to be precise, for your sector. You are making representations to them as well. When it comes to what should be the regulation, how should the companies situated in India and how companies which are abroad, or to be precise, onshore and offshore companies, what are their challenges?
So the challenge that we face right now, as far as regulation is concerned, is that we would like clarity in terms of what we can do and what we cannot do. And you mentioned METI, but I would like to say that generally the government has been very open to listen to us and to actually come up with the right kind of regulation. So we are working with them actively to let them know, or to share with them what we have learned is happening in India and in other geographies. As far as offshore players are concerned, I think the issue is that they're offering games that may or may not be allowed in India, which is the main point, that if the METI or the government is going to tell us, okay, these kinds of games are allowed, that puts us in a much better place to be able to operate in India.
So you're waiting for that regulation to come?
Yes.
When it comes to consumer protection, that is also one area where government is working. Consumer Affairs Department is in touch with the online gaming industry in terms of avoiding people to get into the trap of, say, illegal loan apps, illegal betting apps, which are also thriving along with the industry.
Yes, that's right. So to answer that question, you're absolutely right. What is happening is that this industry, the industry that is in India, the online gaming industry, I'm very happy to share that has come together extremely well to recognize some of those problems and also fight them. So I can tell you about us at Games24x7. We are ensuring that we are tracking our players to understand, right, what is engaging them, what they're doing well, what they can do better on. And so in the cases where we think that they may be playing more than they should, we're very quick to stop them. And I'm also happy to share with you that we're not the only ones that are doing this. The industry is coming together because they recognize these as problems and is working towards solving them through their data and through some of the technologies that they've put in place. Where we've obviously done a lot of work on data science, AI, machine learning, and a lot of time and efforts have been invested there to really build world-class systems that can help us cater to our players better. We've just announced Games24x7 Ventures, a fund that we're starting, which is going to invest in entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, in the digital online gaming, digital content, digital marketing space, to be able to give them, obviously help them grow through our knowledge and through some funds.
What is the size of this fund?
It's over 400 crores to be invested over 5 years.
And what are the potential areas which you're looking at as immediate where you can start investing this fund?
Yeah. So the area that we know very well is online gaming. So that's obviously going to be a key area for us. But then there is also digital content. What are the different kinds of contents that will engage people, different kinds of casual games that are there?
What are these contents like? What would be the sectors of these digital content? We speak of digital content as a very large term nowadays.
100% right, and good question. When we talk about digital content, we talk about entertainment. So different games that you can offer people, but they're very casual in nature. That you come for 5-10 minutes, you play them, you go away, you come back and play them. So casual games mainly is what we are referring to for the global market. So made in India for the world. So that's something that we are doing and we want to invest in. But in addition to that, there's also digital advertising that we've learned a thing or two about, where we think that there are synergies with us where we can invest. And then there is, esports, some of those other areas in gaming as well, where we want to get involved.
On the Byju's front, but moving on, B2B building materials startup GlobalFair has raised $20 million in a mix of equity and debt recently. The Series A fundraise was led by Lightspeed and saw participation from Sama Capital, India Quotient, AUM Ventures and Stride Ventures Global. GlobalFair will use the fresh funds to grow its team, scale business and build new products. It also aims to strengthen its manufacturing base across India and Vietnam and launch capital finance solutions. Joining us now to discuss the company's growth plan is Shaily Garg, the CEO of GlobalFair. Shaily, thank you so much for joining us on the show. As I said, you've raised these funds in a mix of equity and debt. Can you tell us how much was equity and how much debt? What was the rationale to take the debt route?
So thank you so much, first of all, for having me on the show. So it's a healthy mix of equity and debt, and the nature of our business has a significant amount of working capital along with, the entire unit economics that play out. So for us, both equity and debt make sense to power through growth and, support the working capital needs that are there.
All right, so a healthy mix of equity and debt. Now you essentially solve manufacturing and procurement problems for the building materials industry across the US. So can you take me through the pain point that you're trying to solve for?
Yeah, perfect. So in US, what we're trying to become is a one-stop shop for building materials for, big contractors, fabricators across, in entire US, effectively Western market overall. And in which, so imagine everything that is there inside four walls, which is, finishes or semi-finishes, which includes counter, cabinets, flooring, sanitary, LED lights, everything packaged together as a single, install, especially in the time when there is humongous labor shortage in US. So everything packaged together, delivered to their doorsteps, just like Amazon for, B2B building materials. While towards the supply side, we are trying to bring that manufacturing uplift. We become the access to that high quality global demand of building materials, more towards finished. Yeah.
All right. So you've raised 20 million. Now, what do you plan to do with the funds? You're going to grow your team, scale your business. So take me through how you're going to allocate these funds.
Yeah, so we are going to be deepening our tech offering. We are going to be expanding our supply bases. We are currently present in India and Vietnam, so we want to expand to Malaysia next. We would be expanding our team to a massive scale all across India, US, and Vietnam.
All right. Now, take us through the solutions that you have on offer. You said you're going to deepen your tech services. So what are the things that you have on offer, and how many categories are you planning to expand into? What's in the pipeline for you?
Yeah, so we are currently into 4 categories. We are into cabinets, countertops, sanitary, and flooring. We want to expand to doors and windows next, and fencing, thereafter. The idea is to own the entire, finishes inside 4 walls. In terms of tech, a customer starts interacting with our tech platform. This is a very, very conventional industry, right? In which everything still used to happen on phones, and, there is zero reliability and transparency in the mix in supply chain. So a customer starts interacting with our platform right from architectural bidding platform to, final delivery of the material, everything tracked, in real time for him on what's coming, what's being manufactured, what's being produced, QC of it, payment, entire delivery, and then feedback ecosystem as well. So that's on the customer side, while on the manufacturers and internal side, there is a 3-way integrated platform, which helps supplier also, optimize cost and production efficiencies through demand planning models that we have in place. And internally, everything from discovery to final delivery and then payment is taken care on our own internal ERP.
All right. Now, you claim to have grown 300% on a yearly basis over the last 1.5 years. Take us through the revenues you've clocked this year. Where will you end this year? What are the targets you've set for yourself?
So this year we are going to be, as we started last year, January, so this year we are going to be closing around 300x of where we were last year, especially across. So we are present in 36 states in US right now, with 4 states being very, very prime market for us. For this year, our target is to pick up that one micro market and be the leaders in that micro market in terms of at least occupy 10% market share of Texas to start off with.
Okay, all right. So like you just mentioned, you've expanded across 36 states in the US, and you procure and manufacture your materials from India and Vietnam. What's the expansion plan going forward? Are you exploring other geographies, or will the focus remain on these? You did mention Malaysia, so anything apart from that? What have the challenges also been in making this process seamless?
Yeah. So the next ideal market, the idea is to expand all across Southeast Asia, because there's a humongous China plus one, and Vietnam, India, entire Southeast Asian belt is one of the biggest opportunities for that shift of that China plus one manufacturing, right? So our next immediate targets are Malaysia. Then we want to expand to Cambodia or Indonesia, right? So that's in plan. In terms of how do we plan to expand categories, or how do we plan to or what are the challenges, for example, in creating this ecosystem was, so this is a very, very conventional industry still, right? So technology adoption is something that, to our surprise, had been very, very amazing, from our customer base, but still remains a challenge in terms of, explaining it to someone sitting in construction for around 30-35 years doing business a certain way. Hence, our tech is extremely adaptable, very, very easy, still, gets that value added to the customer. So you have that in-bind, in customer to adopt the tech.
All right, Shaily, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot.